Clean release. Ignition?
Let us begin with space.
Good rocket motor burn?
Barely. A is for arc, the shape, like up and down, which is basically all billionaires Bezos and Branson did with their space launches this year. I wanted to be impressed, but we've kind of been doing that for 60 years.
I saw darkness. I thought I was going to see the world, but we weren't quite high enough.
Sticking with that theme, B is for billionaires. Worldwide, the pandemic has pushed about 100 million people into poverty, while the world's richest, a relative handful of people, are worth trillions more. Which brings us to Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm here today because I believe Facebook's products harm children.
C is for compulsion. We started the year knowing social media could be addictive for some. In 2021, it was confirmed
Facebook knows
it's intentional.
I don't think it'll be reached for a very long time, if ever. But
D is for decorated. Penny Alexiak won 3 more medals at the Tokyo Games and is now the most decorated Canadian Olympian of all time. 7 and counting.
Stuck in the Suez and going nowhere.
E is for Ever Given, the ship that got stuck sideways in the Suez Canal. A story that reminded me of my family's houseboat vacation a few years back. Very relatable.
You know, sometimes.
F is for Feud. 2 of golf's biggest players really don't like each other.
I don't think we've ever gotten along.
They tried to iron things out with a match in November. It didn't work.
Enough said.
Wait, did we just become best friends?
No. I don't know about that.
G is for GameStop. 2021 had meme stocks, crypto, and NFTs.
Even if this goes to zero and I lose everything, I like being a part of it.
H is for Haiti. An assassination, a gang crisis, a hostage-taking crisis. It just doesn't seem to end.
We will never give up. We will never concede.
I is for insurrection, a word some have used to describe what was a surreal day in the U.S.
Hold them this way. Are you going to report this?
J is for juvenile. We did have our own embarrassing election moment when a protester threw rocks at the Prime Minister. Now, K has to be for Kamloops, BC. The remains of 215 children were found in unmarked graves on the grounds of the so-called Kamloops Indian Residential School. But schools aren't supposed to have cemeteries. These were something else.
The war was against our children. It's a crime scene.
We've got to leave town.
L is for Lytton.
Go!
The BC village almost erased from the map this summer by fire, literally in minutes.
Everything I had was in there.
M is for Nazar Mohammad. Nothing in Afghanistan this year went the way it should have. But one story that stuck with me was early on as the Taliban swept back into power. The political killing of a comedian. One with an incredible laugh. N is for the North, which is where Canada's new Governor General comes from. If you missed Mary Simon's swearing in, try to find it. It's worth the time.
Community transmission has been established in several areas.
O is for Omicron. COVID-19 had to be on this list somewhere. Right now, this spot feels appropriate.
Like everything else, we'll get through it. We got through wave 1, 2, and 3. We'll get through wave 4.
1 on 3, but a lot of that's drilled by Luke Prokop.
P is for Prokop. In July, Predators prospect Luke Prokop came out as gay, the first player under contract with an NHL team to do so.
I'm accepting who I am.
And how did the hockey world react? Well, exactly as you would hope it would.
What he decided to do was so good on so many levels.
It was decided that the group would not alert human resources or...
Q is for question. Specifically, what were they thinking? The Chicago Blackhawks sexual abuse cover-up seems inexplicable.
Brad Aldridge!
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to
R is for reckoning in the case of Derek Chauvin.
Find the defendant guilty.
Guilty!
The former police officer responsible for the death of George Floyd was sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison.
We're adjourned.
S is for Sumas Lake, re-flooded. Another reminder of the power of water, as if we needed it.
It's good to be out here and just playing again. And
T is for Tiger Woods. Doing twice the posted speed limit in February, he almost died. One of the greatest athletes of all time, but not known for great judgment.
Suzuki scores!
U is for upset. My beloved Canadians had a few in the playoffs. This was my favorite.
And they'll punch their ticket to Winnipeg.
It's wonderful.
V is for visit. A lot of people saw loved ones for the first time in a long time this year. W is for wow. Squid Game was one of those things you didn't see coming. Now, X is the Roman numeral for 10, so let's go with two of them. Global National turned 20 in September. This was a neat moment.
All those years ago.
Y is for Your Home. Canada welcomed back the two Michaels in September.
Can you see me?
And finally, Z is for zero, and it's for my favorite story of the year. It was a reunion that had a 0% chance of happening. Two women in their 90s who grew up Jewish in Nazi Germany separated, each thinking the other was dead, for 82 years.
I think I have a whole new family.
Their first reunion was over Zoom with their families. Eventually, it was in person, but they now talk all the time. It's always nice to be reminded friendship
Good.
is pretty powerful.
L'chaim. L'chaim. L'chaim.